We stumbled on an ancient magic academy. Lesson Tao. And we discovered a book of Vivomancy, and an inquisitor chased us, who we turned into a tortoise.
Mm-hmm.
We explored the academy library. A divination revealed a potential ally in the form of a golem, so we took a manual on the operation of golems from the library. We gained control of the golem, we found a laboratory with a trapped specter, we saw a vision of someone else becoming a specter and betraying the trapped specter, we freed the specter, we went around the back way into the arena and the auditorium and went no.
Mm-hmm.
The flames from the dragon's breath threatened to consume the whole sunken academy. And we escaped the Magic Academy and headed for our hometown of Ackerton. And then we flew up the coast of the Negative Sea back to Ackerton. We told our parents that we now wield great power. We met a hat seller, but we didn't buy anything. Sia Marie told our fortune with Callow cards. We allowed a thief to steal from fruit seller Fran. We parted and destroyed the death cloud threatening Ackerton. After dancing with Tao, we kissed, but then she panicked and broke things off, which is an interesting way of putting that we were like, let's fuck immediately.
And then she was like, I don't want to do this!
Yeah, it's weird to me that they're like, she panicked and broke it off. It's like, I guess you could say that. More happened. Then we restarted the automated mine that was the Dodecapede's lair, which also made Tao mad.
Yeah, because we didn't kill the thing, and we didn't come back with its head, so she was denied the reward. And
Oops.
But more so, her reputation took a blow.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's a monster hunter.
And then in jail, we have heard that we have visitors from the capital.
Mm-hmm. Because we managed to get ourselves fucking arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Because of all the dark magic we were doing everywhere. Alright. I think, we can go ahead and start now. Nobody's here, but I don't care. You're here.
That's
That's
true.
all that matters.
Did you tell Maid?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'll go ahead. I don't remember if I read this, but I will read it again. Ackerton's jail is humble. Your cell consists of stone walls desultorily covered in peeling plaster, tiny barred windows open to the outside, a somewhat shabby straw mattress, a chamber pot, a bucket of somewhat fresh water, and an iron door with a small peephole. This is a cell designed by someone who thinks prisoners deserve basics, but nothing more. If you weren't bound and gagged, you could think about 5 ways to get out of here. Blow through the walls with negation, use a glamour to get the guard to play along, automation to unlock the door, and so on. But old lore stipulates what you must do with a captured mage, and you can't cast anything if you can't move or speak. The next step is traditionally public execution. You spend the days waiting for an opportunity to escape, just a moment. You would have thought they would need to unbind you to let you relieve yourself, but your hopes are dashed when a guard comes by to help you relieve yourself without unbinding your arms. And dashed again when your gag is replaced with a trough of gruel bound to your mouth that still keeps you from speaking.
Gross.
Still, you hold out hope that your opportunity will come. They go for days without killing you. That means something, you're sure of it. Finally, this routine is interrupted when you hear the announcement. Witch Vex, you have some visitors from the capital. Two inquisitors enter your jail cell, both wearing the white tabards of their order. One is a gruff-looking, red-bearded man whose tabard bears a flame, marking him as belonging to the more aggressive church sect, the House of Flame. The other is a delicate-looking man whose tabard shows he belongs to the House of Sun, the sect more associated with forgiveness and peace. You've heard that inquisitors are often sent in these pairs, so that intimidation might succeed where mercy fails, and vice versa. 2 guards in plate armor enter behind the inquisitors. Their helmet visors completely obscure their faces, and they bear long halberds, the better to poke you with. They also each carry a wooden chair, but it is the Inquisitors who take a seat in these before you, leaving the guards to stand. With a glance at his red-bearded companion, the more delicate man says, Witchvex, allow me to introduce Blessed Jacob, Inquisitor of the Flame, and myself, Blessed Sam, Inquisitor of the Sun. We've been instructed to turn you over to the Hierophant. You aren't necessarily going to be executed, as long as you cooperate. You take Blessed Jacob. You're the bad cop.
But if you don't, there are worse places to be than this.
Blessed Jacob offers menacingly. Blessed Sam sighs, clearly not enamored with his companion. Regaining his professional composure, he says, Could we ask you some questions? Still bound and gagged, you nod. It's not as if you promised to be truthful. Good, Sam says, and he leans over to remove your gag. Do you know anyone else who uses magic? Blessed Sam asks you. You think you hear genuine curiosity in his voice. Do you say, this is you. Oh, no, but no, I read the answers. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, would one of you like to learn? Bluff, just the fortune teller in town, or no?
I mean, why would we throw the fortune teller under the bus? That's so mean. What did they do? I mean, I think no. Would one of you like to learn?
Is this really Taps?
Huh?
It sure is. It's Taps. I'm skipping it. Sorry, the music. It was Taps.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know. So what do you want to do?
No. Would one of you like to learn?
Blessed Jacob scowls, but Blessed Sam seems momentarily surprised.
You think you're funny.
Blessed Jacob says. Were you joking? No, if they want to learn magic, great. Or, of course I was joking.
I mean, I was being sarcastic, but if they actually wanted to...
Oh, I could teach you magic if you want. Just kidding. Unless, you want to do it.
Unless...
So, this one?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I genuinely...
You didn't realize it was an opportunity... Oh, was that an option? Huh.
well, I mean, sure, if you want to. I'm not kidding.
You insist. Increased empathy, increased optimism.
Then you're a fool,
Jacob says gruffly. Sam looks resigned. You really can't say such things to an Inquisitor. And do you know of any shapeshifters in this town? Blessed Jacob asks.
That was me.
No? Or Talis? Oh, sorry.
Do you know any shapeshifters in this town?
Blessed Jacob asks. No? Or Talis?
Of course no. What the No.
Blessed Jacob scowls at you in suspicion, but he says nothing more. Sam nods. All right. That's all we need. We'll be back tomorrow morning to bring you to the capital. The two Inquisitors leave. But Sam is back earlier than he said he would be. In the night, you think it's night, there's a knock on your cell door, followed by a jangle of keys. Then the door creaks open. May I come in? Blessed Sam asks as he enters your cell. He's carrying a bronze birdcage that contains a baby dragon.
Make yourself at home,
you say dryly. The Inquisitor sets the birdcage with the dragon down on the floor. The tiny beast sniffs at the dust. This is my pet, Thomas, Sam says.
The saint who cured the blind, then declared the Hierophant was the blindest of all.
You say, intrigued by the choice of name.
Hung by that Hierophant, but the next Hierophant celebrated him as a martyr.
Yes, Sam says, surprised. Increased Sam relationship. Anyway, Thomas, my dragon, that is, has long had an injured wing that prohibits him from hunting. so I have to feed him dead mice from the pet store in Edra. Poor dragon. Poor mice. Do you expect me to feel sorry for your dragon while I'm stuck here? Or could you perhaps get to the point?
I think it's 3.
Do you expect me to feel sorry for your dragon? Oh, let's try all of these. The poor dragon, having to live with such a rube that can't even fix his wing. Oh, the poor mice being fed for someone else's folly. Do you expect me to feel sorry for your dragon while I'm stuck here? You're the reason I'm here. Could you perhaps get to the point? I'm very busy.
I mean, I think it's 3.
You think it's 3?
Yeah. Expect me to feel sorry.
You want me to be mean to a dragon? Got it. Okay,
I mean, I want
thanks.
you to be mean to a dragon owner.
But that's not what this says.
Everybody suffers, even dragons. That's how it is.
Sam winces. No, I suppose I don't, he says. Sorry. Increased calculation. Increased Sam relationship.
That's interesting that it makes him like us more?
Anyway, I was hoping you could heal Thomas here. Something tells me that we haven't seen everything you can do, and I just have a feeling you're a good person. Noting your skeptical reaction, Sam says with open palms, "This isn't a trap. I'm not going to suddenly turn you in. Blessed Jacob is not going to spring out from behind that door. This is me coming to you after hours as a private citizen. I just want my pet to be happy, even if it means he'll fly away." He gives you a wistful smile. "Do you heal Blessed Sam's dragon?" "Yes, out of the kindness of my heart. He just has to untie me." "Yes, but Sam has to untie me and help me escape." "Yes, but I want to know more first about where captured wizards go."
I'm not so foolish as to think he'll just let me escape. But I can still use this to my advantage. I'll heal your dragon if you tell me more about where captured wizards go.
Nice.
I said all that. The first half of that, by the way, Sam, is a monologue, so you have to ignore it. Even though I
of
did
course.
say it out loud.
Oh, of course. I would never dream of invading your monologue. Increase Sam relationship.
Oof, it's just, excuse me, caught my throat. I'll do it, but I want to know more about where you take the dragons you capture. Or the wizards you capture.
You say?
Oh, hi, Chi-Chi. That's the microphone. Yeah. They're not executed immediately on reaching the capital, are they?
Oh, heavens no, Blessed Sam says. We don't execute them unless they're very stubborn and refuse to cooperate. The conditions are not good at first, until they establish that we can trust them, but then there is a judgment process, and, well, what happens next is unclear to me, but I know many of the wizards are reformed into faithful servants of the church.
What are the facilities like, exactly?
You ask? Well, I only know about the bit that leads up to the wizard's cell block, but I can't tell you about that, Sam volunteers. There's a little kitchen with a door that leads outside, and you manage to build a crude mental map of the way to the wizard's quarters from Sam's description. Should you find yourself held there, you could probably escape more easily with this knowledge. Anyway, I've probably said too much already, Sam says.
Well, thank you for indulging my curiosity.
You say. Sam unties your bond so that you can cast your healing spell. As promised, I heal his dragon, or now's my chance, I blast through the wall.
I made a promise. I intend to keep it. I'll heal the dragon.
Sam opens the dragon's cage and makes little tick-tick-tick sounds. The dragon, continually sniffing the ground, slowly emerges from his cage. His tail flicks like a cat's. You gently place a hand on the dragon's wing, and he flinches. But Sam makes a soothing noise and he calms down a bit. You think you know how to modify your healing spell for a dragon. Settling on a solution, you draw life energy from the ground beneath your cell, until you can smell moss and grass and the faint hint of flowers.
Energia, Theraphysi, Dracos, GG, Aloe, Ale, Volabant.
Your hand glows, and you feel the energy flowing into the dragon's wing. Where the 5 bones of the wing have set strangely, you use the Vivimancy energy to fuse these parts and make them right. You feel a sympathetic rumble in your stomach as you use your own energy to heal the dragon. When you let go, the dragon Thomas takes wing, fluttering about your cell. Blessed Sam gives a delighted laugh. Increased sound relationship. You did it! Here, I was worried you might not actually be a wizard.
You aren't upset that I used magic?
You ask skeptically. You refrain from pointing out that Vivimancy especially can have unintended consequences. I believe that the fundamental commandment of Abraxas is to be kind, Blessed Sam says. That is the message I enjoy spreading as I travel from town to town. Everything else is, well, surely you've worked for an employer before where you don't agree with all the policies. Not having a lot of experience with the world of work, you nod to be polite.
I've literally never worked, so...
Here, take some money for your troubles, Sam says, pressing some coins into your hand. You didn't ask for much in return, really. You open your hand to see 10 tenors, a significant gift. Gain 100 gold.
Oh, thank you,
you say. Sam heaves a heavy sigh. I honestly wonder whether we've done the right thing all these years.
Oh?
You say non-committally. What is the point of our prohibition against magic anyway? Sam says. Magic seems as if it's a tool like any other, and of course, the ancients saw what happened when it was used to excess. But I can't help but feel magic in the hands of everyone could accomplish a great good, as long as the church has decided to shape that future instead of suppress it. This may be a trap. Condemn the general use of magic, or ask Sam if he feels sorry for the mages imprisoned by the church.
I feel like weirdly the character we've created might kind of agree with this. Yeah, it's true. People shouldn't use magic.
Well, they shouldn't use the negation magic. Only you should be the one to bear that burden.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But like other magic,
But the wording of option 1 does make it seem like it's a lie. So, I guess option 2? Seems closer? Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not entirely certain I know what fate awaits them, Sam says. It's all very secretive. But I suspect it's not always bad. Sam sighs. Hi, mate. Sometimes I wonder whether their fate is better than mine. He gives you a worried look. Please don't tell Blessed Jacob I said that. Express my distaste for mages, or urge Sam to learn more about the fates of the mages he captures.
I pretty much the same choice as last time. I feel like 1 is almost right, but I think it's a lie, so 2.
No, maid, I won't.
I can't believe you don't know what happens to them.
You say.
Are you afraid to find out?
Sam winces. Probably, he says. At any rate, I need to go. Try to forgive us. There really are terrible mages in the world. Sam bids you adieu. You hope you didn't drive him away.
Thanks for stopping by.
You mutter at the closed cell door after Sam leaves. Then you realize Sam left your hands untied. You think what spell might be best for a jailbreak? Negation to blast through the walls? Glamour to convince the guard to free you? Or maybe something else? You usually try to think of at least 3 options before making any decision.
That's really good.
What's a good third option? As you're deciding which spell to cast, Sam rushes back into the cell, grabs your arm, and tied you up again. I almost forgot. Sorry to get your hopes up. He flashes a nervous smile and is gone once more. You heave a sigh, then curl up on the stone floor, trying to get some sleep before the trip to the capital tomorrow. Chapter 4, Under the Cathedral. You remain blindfolded and gagged as you're loaded onto a wagon. You can hear Blessed Sam and Blessed Jacob traveling with you, the former protesting when the guards are rough with you, the latter giving gruff instructions that witch can be stuffed anywhere convenient where you can still take a whack at him. You also hear, as you are loaded in, a strange but familiar voice say, "Ha, ha, ha." It takes you a moment to realize it's a tortoise, speaking from somewhere else in the back of the wagon. It is, more specifically, a tortoise of your own creation. It doesn't say anything else. From all the clanking and rustling, you're packed with at least 4 other guards in plate mail in the back of the wagon. Sam rides in the back with you as well, leaving Blessed Jacob to drive the wagon. You may not believe it, but I am sorry you're being treated in this way, Sam says. The Hierophant claims a wizard must know penance and sorrow before he can open his heart to the church. I don't know about that, but it saddens me to see you in pain. Let me take your mind off it, and I will tell you stories from the Book of Abraxas on the ride to the capital.
Oh boy. Let's all sing Bible songs!
I know. Oh, well, what if I just simply read to you the Book of Matthew, and then Mark, and then Luke, and guess what I'll read you after that? No peeking.
Desperately tries to cast negation on self.
In this way, you endure a long wagon ride north. Once, during the trip, the tortoise begins. Can I... You.
No, for the last time, you cannot play cards with us.
One of the other guards says in irritation.
Your turn always takes forever.
The tortoise suddenly doesn't say anything, but later that night, when you can hear everybody else busily set up camp, you'll hear it say softly, I'll show you all. You find yourself in a mildewy cell carved from rock that's cold to the touch. You're still blindfolded, gagged, and bound at the wrists. But you can stand. Magic remains out of the question. You pace the circumference of your cell. There is a small wooden bench and a heavily dented brass chamber pot, cold to the touch. The door to your cell feels like wood, rough with old scratching and slightly damp. You feel at the bench and chamber pot, hoping to find some sharp edge on which to cut your bonds, but you find nothing of the sort. Since your legs are free, you give the door to the cell a short, sharp kick. It's quite solid. You kick just hard enough to make your leg ache after, but you haven't accomplished anything. You curl up into a ball, hoping sleep will bring a solution. Ready! You are awoken by this horrific but familiar rasp. Speaking the tongue of the ancients, a black head rises through the floor of your cell, followed by 2 glowing blue eyes. It's a specter. You scramble back to the rear of your wall of your cell, thinking it's a murderous mage come for revenge on anything living. But when the specter's full swirling black form emerges from the floor, you begin to think the specter has no desire to attack you.
Aha.
It seems to be on your side. Ego veni por ma debi recipi aqualium. I have come to repay my debt.
Hi, Gigi. Wait, where are we? Sorry, Gigi walked in front of the screen.
You're the specter. God.
You're the specter I freed in the academy.
You say, shocked that it should appear here and now.
The one from the laboratory.
You want to read that again? I bumped something.
Oh, okay, fine. Jeez. You're the specter I freed in the academy.
You say, shocked that it should appear here and now?
The one from the laboratory.
The specter nods and beckons you to come closer. When you do, it holds both its hands forth as if they are bound. You follow its suggestion, and it burns through your bonds with a single finger of negative energy. As an afterthought, it casually gestures back towards your cell door. A bolt of negative energy from its finger disintegrates the lock, leaving only a gaping round hole. You edge out into the corridor with the specter trailing by your side. Nobody is currently here. The specter gestures down the corridor. Est discipulus ibi, tum capi, maima debi recipi aquila. There is a student down there, also captured, but my debts are repaid. The specter then melts back into the ground. You sneak out of your cell and head into the direction indicated by the specter to investigate. You continue down the dungeon corridor. Scratched into the stone of the corridor's floor is the word Purgatory. To your disappointment, most of the cells are empty. Perhaps the occupants have proceeded on to whatever comes after Purgatory. Regardless, you find one mage still sleeping in his cell, on a shabby straw pallet. You recognize the black velvet robes of a student at the University of Edra, which imitate the wizard robes of the magic academies of old, despite the university's mundane teachings. Despite incarceration, the student has a clean sheen of someone who has rarely known hardship. His black hair uses some kind of gel to maintain a perfectly poised pompadour. His jaw is strong and adorned with fairly flattering stubble. Currently, he's smiling sardonically at something in his dream. Even lying down and hidden in the voluminous black student robes, you can tell that he works out and is rather tall. He probably played for a ball game team of some kind. His black leather shoes retain a surprising amount of polish. You suppose because he hasn't walked anywhere since his capture. You have a strong sense that the student does not belong here. You cast a quick automation spell to open the lock, and it opens easily. The young man opens his eyes. I guess I'll do it. Did my parents send you? He says eagerly. Am I getting out of here? He looks not much younger than you, but sounds still younger than that. Sitting up, the young student reveals that his wrists are bound, presumably to prevent the casting of spells. His legs aren't bound, though. What do you want to say to the student? Your parents didn't send me, I'm a mage like you. What's your name? Where did all the other mages go? Why are you still here? What sort of magic got you captured? I've asked enough questions, I free the student from his bonds, or I don't trust the student, I leave him in the cell.
He could have freed himself if his legs are free. Why is he still here?
I mean, your legs were free.
Peachy. Yeah, and I got free, didn't I?
But, yeah, okay. My legs were free, therefore a specter.
Yeah. I would have done it on my own.
I sort of bluffed my way through it, the student says. They'd only captured me a little before, and I told them it was illegal for the church to capture the son of a magistrate. It sort of makes sense that a law like that would exist, right? Can't have the church exercising undue power over the judiciary? You shrug. Given your knowledge of ancient history, you seriously doubt any such law would exist, but you somehow don't want to deflate the student's pride in his subterfuge. Well, anyway, it worried enough inquisitors that they decided to put my judgment off until next time, the student says. I think they also had some hopes that I was young and impressionable or some shit like that, and that they could bring me around and, like, save me from hell. So it could have been that, too, he shrugs. What else would you like to say to the student?
What's your name?
What's your name? What's your name? Wizard Vance, the young student says with forced confidence.
Did your mayor grant you that title?
You ask. Now Vance turns embarrassed. My mayor would probably still call me Vance Halson. But sometimes people get titles just because everyone calls them that, right? American McGee presents. What else would you like to say to Vance?
Your parents didn't send me. I'm a mage like you.
Oh! Vance looks excited. Are there more of us somewhere? Some kind of secret society?
I'm afraid we're it, to my knowledge.
You say. Vance looks slightly crestfallen. Ah, well. I suppose it's really too bad you didn't come in time to rescue the others. But I'd love to have a mentor, if you're willing.
What about these parents of yours?
They'll come around to the idea, Vance asserts. Any chance you're going to rescue me anyway? He optimistically holds up his bound wrists.
Where did the other mages go?
Well, there was a judgment day just a few years ago, a few days ago, Vance says. I don't know much about it. The Inquisitors just said everyone was headed for heaven or hell. And then they said, let's rock. And they'd have to decide which one they wanted. Most of them left yelling and screaming, and it seems like they all went the same direction. Vance ducks his head out of the cell and gestures with bound hands. That way.
The way to hell, presumably.
You say.
Whatever that is.
Vance nods and holds up his bound wrists. So you have to get me out of here. You can't leave me for the next one of those purges. I'm not sure I can talk my way out of the next one. What else would you like to say to Vance?
Might as well. What sort of magic got you captured?
A professor at the university turned me in, Vance grumbles. He's a professor I like, too. I was just curious what he did outside of the university. You know, he seemed like an interesting person. You must inadvertently have a skeptical look on your face because Vance says, "What? Can I try to have role models?" Anyway, it gets worse. The professor was writing an exam at the time I scried, and thought I was not just using magic, but using magic to cheat. So he went to the Inquisitors. Noting your skepticism, Vance says, "I wasn't trying to cheat. I was always a good student, even before I found the divination book. I swear to Abraxas or whatever." Vance gestures all around at the cell. "Besides, usually nothing even happens to cheaters at the university, but use magic and suddenly you're thrown in a fucking dungeon."
So what happened next?
You prompt. "Well, the Inquisitors raided my room," Vance says. "They just burst down the door and grabbed me without even giving me time to change out of my stupid academic robes. And that's how they found my book of divination," Vance says. A gift from my father who didn't realize what it was. He just knew it was old and thought I could practice reading the ancient tongue with it."
And they confiscated that book?
"Yes, but I did see where they put it. I threatened legal action if they didn't show me," Vance said. "Can you take me there?" He holds up his bound wrist. "Maybe do something about this too?" What else would you like to say to Vance?
I don't know. Do we free him or not?
I don't know.
Do I trust him? But I don't
I have so many questions, but really, the only two questions that matter are, do I like him, or do I trust him?
He shouldn't die, but will he get in my way?
He sounds
My
rich
ideal thing
and-
is I free him and leave and never see him again. It's kind of...
He sounds rich and annoying,
Yeah.
but like,
Kind of...
also he seems like kind of a sycophant. That could be pretty cool.
That's true. It would be kind of nice if someone was like, wow, you're so cool. Because I am, and people don't see that.
Maybe I could ask him to dance and then take him home and kiss him and fuck him and he won't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, free him for that purpose specifically.
You cut Vance free of his bonds. "Oh, thank you," says Vance. Increase Vance relationship. He gives you an enthusiastic hug. Encourage Vance to come with me as I explore the basement. I encourage Vance to run free now. I'll escort Vance to safety.
2.
Just want to let him go?
Yeah. I freed you, but now your fate's in your own hands now, kid. Just like the rest of us. Run, you're free now.
You say.
You can use your magic to find an escape route.
"You're not coming with me?" Vance says, slightly hurt.
Oh, bye, Gigi. Ow!
Bye, Gigi.
She slid when she jumped off me. Mean. I've got other business down here.
Ah, sorry. You say,
And I don't want to have to take care of you.
is your unspoken thought.
I would have said it out loud. But
That
well,
thought seems to have reached Vance loud and clear, though. Okay, fine. Vance leaves the cell and heads down the corridor the way you came. After a moment, he turns around and calls back, "You haven't heard the last of Wizard Vance! You'll wish we were friends later!" You awkwardly wave goodbye.
Good luck.
You continue down the block of cells, in the direction that Vance said the mages were taken on Judgment Day. Along the way, you come to a locked metal door on the left-hand side. You cast a spell of automation to unlock the door, and electricity courses through until you hear the snick of the lock turning. Gained automation. Inside the room, you find a trove of items taken from prisoners, including all your gear and the book of divination magic that Vance told you about. Gained divination. You suppose Vance didn't stop by because the door was locked. There aren't many other items in the room, and you suspect this is just a temporary holding place for the goods of the incarcerated. All the other leftovers must be the usual detritus that accumulates in any lost and found. You gather the items that look the most valuable. Gain 324 gold.
Yay.
You leave the storage room and continue down the corridor. Stone gargoyles stand watch over the heavy pair of iron doors at the end of the corridor. 2 unlit braziers stand to either side of the door. Someone has used negation magic to burn the word "run" into the stone floor and at the threshold, but someone else used negation magic to cross this out and write "repent" instead. You try the door. It seems unlocked. I'll go in. I'm not afraid of whatever's in there. I'll cast divination and look for another path, or I'll just sneak around and look for secret passages.
Sneaky. I think.
You think?
I think we're sneaky. I mean, Maid can have an input. We're still... We got less subtle, I guess, by 1.
We did. We used to
I
be
missed
better.
that. Mm-hmm. We used to be 6.
We used to be better.
Sam is the one who likes us the most. That's so weird.
I mean, we healed his dragon.
That's true.
And we didn't... and we didn't, like, butter him up and lie to him. We just straight shot told him, "I don't really see why I'm supposed to help you when you've got me tied up, bound, and gagged in a prison, you asshole." To which he was like, "Damn, good point." Like, yeah, no, you're not wrong. I don't even blame you. Like, it sucks. I didn't want this. I just feel bad about my pet dragon.
I just really want my Dwight to fly again.
And then maybe he can hunt on his own and wouldn't have to, like, eat dead mice.
Aww.
So? Do you want to sneak? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Frank? Frank? Frank! Oh.
What? Okay, I don't know why Windows just switched away from the regular part. Well, I was in call. Anyways, yeah, sorry, I was saying yes to sneaky.
You were saying yes to sneaky.
Going in there would be brave. Brave people die.
I'd rather go in smart. Smart people also die, but they die
brave.
better.
Yeah, heroic even. Heroes killed.
You sneak around the basement looking for some other way to go besides the intimidating room at the end of the corridor. You look in cells, poke at walls, and try to do this all as stealthily as you can. The most promising room in the vicinity is small, about the size of the other cells, except that in the center of this one there's a small square altar with an unlit candle on each of its corridors. A gilt eye of Abraxas on a small stand adorns the center of the altar. I kneel before the altar. I try putting on the golden eye of Abraxas. I try pulling on the golden eye of Abraxas, or I cast automation to set whatever this is in motion.
It's just a square altar.
A square altar in the middle of what appears to be just any other cell that has 2 candles unlit on each of its corners.
I guess I'll cast automation.
You look at the door with the moon symbol on it. It's just some dumb door. How do I even open this? You cast your automation spell, and electricity arcs from the ceiling to the golden eye of Abraxas, then cascades down the front of the altar, where you may have knelt. Gain automation. You hear a click, and the stone wall at the back of the room grinds open to reveal a secret passage. To your surprise, the corridor beyond is well lit by globes set in the ceiling that emit a warm yellow light. The floor has a red carpet, and oil paintings of saints decorate the walls. You continue down the secret corridor to its end. There, stone angels encircle a simple wooden door. The door is unlocked, so you push it open. The circular domed room you enter now looks like a vision of heaven, with a gilded throne standing on a dais in the center, and a mural encircling the room depicting a cloud city full of angels. The room is awash in soft light from a giant orb suspended by a gilded rod from the dome above, similar to those you saw in the Magical Academy, but better dusted. The ablutionary font stands to one side of the throne. The water inside looks fresh. To the other side is a stand with a flask of gin and a tray of cookies, both the kind commonly used for ending sacred fasts. There are 2 exits in the room. In addition, the open entrance you came from. The stone frieze above the door to your left depicts a row of books, like a stone bookshelf. The stone frieze above the door directly across from you depicts an eye of Abraxas. I take the moment to pray to the ablutionary font. I wreck this phony place! Enter the door with the frieze depicting books. Enter the door with the frieze depicting the eye of Abraxas. Cast a divination to learn about the 2 rooms beyond.
Divination.
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 You cast a divination to learn more about the rooms beyond.
Mysterian Nomai. Ostente Domatia Juxta.
Beyond the door marked with an eye, you see a man, or man-like creature, with many eyeballs on tentacle stalks, walking a variety of images across a crystal. Watching a variety of images play across crystals all over the room. The images in the crystals appear to be showed different rooms of the cathedral, as well as glimpses of chapel and offices. You sense that this being's name is the Watcher, and that he's a wizard from a long line of Watchers stretching back before the Great War. The Watcher casts an irritated glance in the direction of your divination's vantage point. He has sensed your divination, but he doesn't seem particularly surprised. He seems to murmur to himself quietly, but doesn't leave his post. There are no other exits to that room. Beyond the door marked with the books, you see many bookshelves filled with ancient tomes. There is an exit to that room marked with a frieze depicting a treasure chest. You sense there is more to know just outside the limits of your cognition, and you strain to learn more. While the exercise is useful, you're unable to learn more about these rooms from your vision. Gain divination. I take the moment to pray to the ablutionary font. I wreck this phony place. Enter the door with the frieze depicting books. Enter the door with the frieze depicting Eye of Abraxas.
If there is a god, they're not worthy of my prayers. So let's go meet this Watcher guy. That sounds fun.
You want to meet the Watcher?
Yeah.
Tell me, Watcher, what is it you watch?
Who watches you? Who watches the Watcher?
I do.
Oh, that's convenient. That closes the loop. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the crystals.
That makes sense. Oh yeah, there you are. Wow.
Hi.
Just like waving into the crystal. Yeah.
How will you deal with the many-eyed being in the room beyond that you saw in your vision? Just walk in and try to talk to him? Cast a glamour before going in, and order the being to give me a status report? Blast the being with negative energy before it can act? Grow eyes like the beings with Vivimancy and pretend to be one of his kind, or I'll charge the thing!
This might be one of the rare times to use glamour, I think. We'll probably fail, though. We're really bad at it, so maybe we should.
Because we never use it.
Right. It's not really our thing. Maybe we should just walk in and try and talk to him.
I just think you're really cool.
You seem like you're probably, like, tortured or something, so I don't know.
You're like a wizard who's, like, cursed to have to watch everything, right? Is that how that works?
I
You
too
come
have
from a long
curse.
line of watchers. You must have to, like, watch the sorrows of the past.
Yeah. God, you must be, like, so sad and depressed. It's so cool. Can you see my curse inside me?
So do you want to cast a glamour? Do you want to walk in?
Talk to him. See what he's up to.
You walk into the room with all the crystals, and the Watcher immediately turns all his eyes on you.
Excuse me.
You begin, but all the Watcher's eyes narrow in annoyance. Black flames of negative energy surge up his body, and he raises a finger to point at you. Nihilo! The creature shouts in his deep baritone, and a dark bolt races from his fingers to blast the ground in front of you. This warning shot blows a crater as wide as the doorway in the stone floor. The resulting purple and black negative energy cloud between you means that you can only vaguely see his nest of eyes through the fallout. I am the Watcher. You should not be here, the being booms. Go wait in the next room for the Hierophant. He then murmurs something under his breath. Most blessed. You can't quite hear the rest, but you think he said something to the Hierophant. You think you see tendrils of glowing negative energy curl around the man, shining through the cloud. It seems dangerous to proceed further from him. Will do. I do as I'm told, waiting in the next room from the Hierophant. Will do, but I try sneaking into the library, willfully misinterpreting next room. I try to blast the Watcher through the cloud of negation. I try rushing the Watcher through the cloud with my sword.
Really tempted to blast them with negation, now that I know they're complicit.
You wield the darkness, and but that was your mistake, was thinking that I did not embrace it as well.
Yeah. Fuck him up.
You want to fuck him up?
Let's fuck him up.
You draw negative energy from the stark sun, even as the many-eyed man does the same. The room briefly smells like a mixture of sulfur and roasted meat. One way or another, this duel is going to be a learning experience. Gain negation.
Nihilo!
You shout, and a bolt races from your pointing finger towards your opponent. Antitha! He says, and a shield of negative energy appears before him. But your opponent's shield does not quite coalesce before your dark bolt penetrates it, and his eyes all go wide for a moment before your bolt explodes, leaving only a black and purple cloud. You once read that the eyes of a Watcher can be used in a potion that permanently increases your awareness of your surroundings, useful for fighting and sneaking around. Now that you know what a Watcher is, it makes a certain amount of sense. You have your alchemy set with you, so it shouldn't take too long to make. You harvest a few eyeballs, thankful there's nobody else around to observe your actions, gain fighting, gain subtlety. Without the looming threat of the Watcher, you can now focus your attention on the row of baby blue crystals covering the ceiling, walls, and waist-level elevated surfaces of the room. Each fist-sized crystal is cut like a gemstone, and in the largest facet you can see another place displayed in the crystal as a flickering illusion. Most of these display the interiors of churches. Performing quick mental calculation, you think it might be every church in the kingdom, and perhaps a few beyond, judging from some exotic decor that you don't recognize. You're also startled to see that one crystal appears to display the throne room of the royal palace. The young woman on the throne wears an elaborate sparkling white dress and is currently holding court, but you can't tell what anyone is saying. Still, you're certain that must be Queen Thekla. Her official church counselor, Blessed Advisor Armand, dressed all in white, appears to be scolding her. She, in turn, appears to be getting increasingly cross herself. The crystals next to that one show the crystals next to that one show various offices that look vaguely bureaucratic. You think they may be other rooms in the palace. You quickly search the body of the Watcher, but he was carrying nothing of interest. There doesn't seem to be much in here besides the crystals themselves, which are barely interesting. When you finish searching, you notice out of the corner of your eye that something's happening in the crystal depicting the adjacent room. To your surprise, there are now people filing into the heaven-like room, including Sam's usual partner, Blessed Jacob, a man in white robes, and a few armored church guards. They're hesitating before the door to your current room, debating their plan of attack. Gather all the crystals, blow up the crystals, it's faster than run out to surprise the group, or first things first, lob a negation spell into the next room and using the crystals to aim.
Wait, why would we blow up the crystals?
Sabotage?
Just for okay.
The church thinks they can spy on everyone. Well, I'll show them.
Here's what Batman does at the end of one of the Batmans.
Gather all the crystals. I must understand them before I destroy them. Blow them all up. The church has no right to interfere with the church has no right to spy on the lives of their believers. First things first. Kill them.
It would be really cool to kill them using the crystals. Like, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's really cool, though. Damn, I don't know. Either 2 or 3, but I can't pick. Made!
Thanks, Nate. I guess the real question here is, are you Batman or are you Dr. Saunders?
Oh.
I've just been hitting you with
Wait,
those...
which one is which?
I don't know.
I think number 2 is the ending of one of the Batmans, where he constructed an entire surveillance thing out of everyone's phones. And then his his businessman guy who runs the business for him is like, "You're doing a bad thing. This is wrong. You can't spy on people." And the Batman's like, "You're right, but I have to do it for security and liberty." And you think maybe they're making a political statement about like the war on terror, and they kind of are, but then Batman uses it once to locate the Joker, and then it's like, and then I blew up the whole system so I could never use it again, and neither could anyone else.
But, did admit that there is a use for it, therefore it's fine, at least once.
Yeah.
So
But,
they are still making a message, sending a message of justification.
Yeah, but it mostly ends up being a message of it's supposed to mostly be a message of Batman is willing to do bad things.
Yeah, and it's probably fine if our military does bad things, and they'll probably destroy it right after, just like Batman. And if they don't, that's a problem with the system. So really what I'm saying is we should make this happen.
Gotta make this happen somehow.
So make a fucking decision.
Blow them up. The people, not the crystals.
Oh, blow up the people.
I think so. They're bad. They're killing people.
You draw negative energy, all the while using the crystal showing in the next room to triangulate. Then you open the door a crack, point without looking, and shout.
Nilo Magma.
Or Magna, even.
Oh, that's an N, huh? So it is.
The resulting giant blast could leave no survivors. You're not even sure who you killed exactly, but if Jacob was among the dead, you're pretty sure that's a win. Increased calculation. Of course, when word gets out, it'll be fairly obvious this was your doing. Increase vilification. You gather up the crystals, and which don't depict any other search parties nearby, and gain divination. Having gathered the crystals, you proceed to hold your breath and run through the heavily room into the room of books. Through the doorway, there is a huge library, easily the equal of the one you found back in the Sunken Magic Academy. The room smells extremely musty, and while there are a few tomes that look relatively new, most look as though they might crumble at the touch. The orderly rows are labeled in the tongue of the ancients. You can make out sections marked Theology, Heresy, History, and Miracles. And there are probably more you don't immediately see. Down the central aisle of this library is another door with a stone frieze above it. This one's stone artwork depicts a closed treasure chest. The light in this room is a pleasant, steady glow. You look up and see that the room is lit with the same kind of magical orbs within the suspended bowl that lit the Sunken Academy. But these are well tended to, with no traces of dead insects or even dust. This room is still in use, you're certain. As you're considering which aisle of books to explore first, a stone door slams down behind you, blocking the entrance to the sealing you inside. Your fingers scrabble at the door as you tug, but it's solidly shut. Then there's a hissing noise as some kind of blue gas begins to fill the library. You recall Sam's instructions. Somewhere down there is a room that I'm not going to tell you how to get to, or else you will head there immediately, and that will get you into a lot of trouble. But should you find yourself in a room full of books? Yes, I see that look, but I really should not tell you how to get there. You must fall to your knees and utter the prayer. You fall to your knees.
Dear Abraxas, show me nothing I am not ready to see. Let it be so.
Instantly, the hissing noise ceases, and the stone door that fell behind you slowly lifts with the sound of the grinding stone. You catch a brief vision of the Hierophant in her office. The old woman in white must have cast a divination on you. Before the brief vision ends, you see her rise from her chair. What will you do in this room full of books? Proceed to the door with the treasure chest frieze. Look for the books on magic. Peruse the books of the earthly history of the church. Look for books on the design of this cathedral. Maybe it's time to get out of here. Begin my escape.
Books on magic. Books on magic.
Books on magic? Books on magic? You fucking fool? Okay. You're only half surprised to find the books of on magic under the category of miracles. You suspected from everything else you've seen that saints are actually using magic to create glamours and perform miracles. This, of course, confirms your suspicion. The ancient texts here are as old as those in the Magic Academy, suggesting that while the church uses knowledge of old, it does not particularly innovate. What kind of magic would you like to find a book about? Negation? Automation? Glamour? Divination? Vivimancy?
Tempted to do negation, but maybe get our automation up a little bit, too.
Do I have the right? Do I have the right to dabble?
It's got a huge boost to divination. Actually, yeah, maybe we need to buff our negation now that everything's kind of doing good.
Well, we got the Watcher's crystals, so...
Right, yeah.
Which I'm sure will be kept and not taken from us.
No, why would they be?
No fucking idea. You find the book on negation that you can... You find the biggest book on negation that you can and begin to flip through it. Yes, this will do nicely. There are some quite advanced spells here. You think you will learn quite a bit from this book, gain negation. You look up, unsure how long you've been flipping through your book. You hesitate, unwilling to leave these treasures of knowledge behind. You'd prefer to keep discovering new things. But then the Hierophant enters the room.
I didn't mean to read it there, man.
Well,
this ain't a library.
Get fucked, dumbass. The Hierophant is a hunched old woman wearing a white robe, a tall white mitre embroidered with the eye of Abraxas, and a white stole embroidered on one side with a flame, and the other with the sun. She regards you dispassionately and warily. To the Hierophant's right is Saint Anne, the saint who used to serve Akraton, whom you encountered when returning from the ancient Magic Academy. She looks somewhat more sickly than she did when you saw her last, and even her general aura of holiness now can't hide her face's resemblance to a skull. The man to the Hierophant's left is younger and more portly and has a full head of curly black hair that culminates in a big beard. You are moved to want to help these three holy people, and you wonder why you've strayed from the church. All three individuals are clearly giving their all for the betterment of humanity. They all seem slightly drained, as you would expect of people with exhausting professions. They're glamored, you realize foggily. You struggle to maintain a clear head. Saint Anne, Saint Twimsy, and I had high hopes for you, the Hierophant says. Then you killed the Watcher, she narrows her eyes in anger, and to think I would have offered you sainthood. But I think I must keep a tighter leash on you. Somnia velum domiturus! Whatever the Hierophant's casting, it can't be good. I quickly cast a bolt of negation her way. I charge at her. We run!
God, I do want to kill the Pope, though. But we probably will lose. Presumably she's very powerful. There's 3 of them. So probably we run? But I do want to kill the Pope now that the opportunity is here. Fuck.
You monster. You speak to me hypocrite. Of killing? Where did the mages go? The ones who refused to dance to your little puppet show.
It's time to make like my personal hero, Nero, and kill the Pope.
So, what are you gonna do?
Not Dante, he's too goofy for me. I've only played Devil May Cry 4. It's the only good one. I think we gotta run, as much as I want to kill the Pope. There's 3 of them. I don't even know what the 3rd guy does.
He's portly and has a beard.
That's true. That's scary.
It's like you're facing Dark Frank.
Yeah.
I would kiss him.
Well, that's not an option. I joined the church in order to be closer to whoever that is.
Hey, hey, Hierophant, sorry about the murder and everything, but, you didn't tell me you had a smoking hot guy up here. Oh, wait. It's Dark Me.
I thought I was Dark Me.
So, run?
Me? Yeah, run. Yeah, no, we can't.
Shaking out the Hierophant's glamour, you stumble away. You run until you put a good distance between yourself and the Hierophant. Thankfully, she doesn't move very fast. You are now back to the cell block where the mages were kept. How will you try to get out from the basement? You're all alone, so sneaking seems like a viable option. You suppose you could blast the ceiling with a bottle of negation, then fly through, but that would probably involve breathing in some negative energy. You could grow giant mole hands and tunnel with Vivimancy, but you don't think you could directly tunnel through the ceiling while flying. You would just push off the surface ineffectually. So you'd have to build a tunnel that angled up. Oh.
Imagine bumping against the ceiling like,
Or you could just use glamour magic and brazenly stride through the cathedral as if you belong there.
Sneak.
Wanna try to be sneak?
Think so.
You decide to sneak back the way you came, quickly. You make your way through the heavenly room, then through the secret passage. You you pass by the mage's cells, then ascend the stairs you used to come in. As you're reaching a stairwell, landing in the stairwell, you hear voices up above. You press against the wall of the landing. The voices pass, and you continue up the stairs without incident. Stairway Gigi is up on the top of her tower, staring at the ceiling, and now she's staring at the dwag.
I want to go this way.
What am I doing? What am I? What is?
What is?
The stairway leads to the same kitchen you entered through. Unfortunately, just as you arrive, some cathedral guards begin filing in from the door to the outside, blocking your exit. The plate-armored guards bear swords and halberds, but thankfully there's no saint among them. Blast the guards in my way of negation, or cast a glamour and walk past the guards?
Negation, obviously. Yeah.
Ahem!
Nihilo!
Your blast annihilates the guards in your way, leaving only a purple and black cloud where they once had been. A shocked cry goes up from the guards outside the blast radius, but you hurry through the cloud of negative energy before they can gather their wits. It stings and burns, but there's nothing to be done for it. Outside, it is night. You make your way through the alley and next to the cathedral and out to the street. You look forward to returning to Akraton. At first, you think you managed to lose the forces of the church back at the cathedral. You hurriedly rent horses and ride out to the capital without incident. But a few hours down the road, you can see a formation of 12 torches following you in the darkness, perhaps a third of a mile away. You have little doubt these are Inquisitors and church guards. You can't run away forever. Perhaps it's time to stop running and think of a way to keep the church at bay permanently.
I should have killed the Pope when I had the chance. Hi, Gigi. Welcome back in, Gigi.
You continue to ride south from the capital, but you can't seem to elude your pursuers. Though you have enhanced your horse's speed with Vivimancy somewhat, the fact is that the horse you were able to find at the moment's notice late at night is not used to hard riding. You wonder whether there is a more permanent way to keep the church from following you. Use a glamour to tell my pursuers to report me as dead, or blast my pursuers with negation, leaving one to report that I'm not to be trifled with.
Well, yeah, I guess we're just sort of... So anyway, I started blasting. Enough!
You say, slowing your horse and wheeling about.
I have to put an end to this. It's got to be done.
You murmur. Increase calculation. Increase solemnity. You draw all the negative energy you can muster, covering yourself with glowing black and purple tendrils of energy. It smells like barbecue. Gain negation. When your pursuer's formation is just a tournament field away, you point at them.
Nihilo Magna.
A black bolt streaks towards the riders and then explodes amid them. You hear a dull boom as the black and purple explosion consumes 11 of the 12 riders. The ball of negative energy emits its own eerie glow momentarily. Then, there's nothing left but the dark of night where they stood. The horses, the torchlights, all are gone. Decreased church relationship. The lone remaining rider takes off at a quick gallop back to the castle. You hope he delivers your message with the gravity it deserves. How many people is this Hierophant willing to sacrifice to pursue you? Not that many, you hope. It was almost frightening how easy that was, you think. You urge your horse back towards Akraton. You return to Akraton alone. Along the way, you stop in the Crown Mountains to collect some of the gold from your automated mine. Gain 200 gold. This journey again takes a week on horseback. Time enough for you to digest the fact that you had just killed a bunch of people whom most would consider holy. How does it feel to be a heretic? I never meant for this to happen. My mind's in tumult. This conflict was inevitable, but I'll win. My intentions are good. They'll eventually see that. Sorry, I should have said it like this. I never meant for this to happen. My mind is in tumult.
Thank you.
This conflict was inevitable, but I will win. My intentions are good. They'll eventually see that.
Definitely not 3. Obviously not 3. That's, like, not even a question. The first 2, though.
But the first 2, though.
I mean, the instinct is to say 2. But 1 kind of works, too, with the... I never meant to kill anybody.
What? How is this? What? It's all catching up with me so fast. Can I truly handle this darkness?
Kind of leaning towards 1. I never meant for any of this to happen. I never asked for this.
You can hardly concentrate on your magic practice as your mind keeps returning to the fact that the church would hunt you down if it could. What will you do now? You suppose all you can do is brace for the inevitable. Increase caution. When you arrive in Akraton, the town looks healthier than ever. You think partly because you saved it from that negative energy cloud before you left. You can see as you ride into town that the townsfolk are nervous to see you return. Perhaps they had hoped you'd just go away, but they seem to accept that you are now powerful enough to stay wherever you please.
You just fucking saunter back into town, huh?
Hey, fuck faces, gonna put me back in jail? You don't want to see what happens if you try. Church tried that. Guess what happened?
Are you more powerful than the church? I don't think so.
You unlock the storm doors to your apartment and enter.
Excuse me, sir.
That's you.
Yeah, I know, I'm yawning. I say
Stop it!
No, I'm gonna yawn more.
Stop it!
Bene Venitus Dominix.
Your golem says to welcome you. It is still standing by the doors as you left it.
Bene Venitus Fidelitas.
You say, glad to see it again. You collapse onto one of your antique wooden chairs, wishing you had a few more cushions. Yes, it's good to be home. You head to the market to restock your pantry after your time away. The market is the same old market, though a few of the colorful fluttering flags are missing. A quick inquiry of passers-by revealed that a lightning storm struck the previous week, but it was not so bad as to cause that much harm to the place. What will you buy or sell at the market? So there's some places gone now. I wonder why that could have happened. Why would thunderstorms be getting worse?
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Alright, we have 1,493 gold. Do we want to sell something? Buy fine clothing suitable for a noble. Buy an all-black outfit suitable for sneaking around. Buy a good set of chain armor. Buy a rare old history book called Via Verita Abraxas, The True Life of Abraxas. Buy a very fine blade for Tal, 300 gold. Buy an old tonic that the seller claims helps with a variety of maladies, 300. Buy ingredients for a potion to improve my negation magic for 350 gold, requires alchemy set. Buy ingredients for a potion to improve my glamour for 300 gold, requires alchemy set. Buy a set of fine tools and spare parts for automation, 400. Check in on the fund to restore the copper tree. Check out the stall of the new artifact seller in town. Buy one of those big turkey legs I always see people eating around here. Visit Seer Mary, the fortune teller. Browse some hats. Visit Fruit Seller Fran to pick up some food. It's what I came here for.
I'm curious about the artifact seller. What do you have?
The artifact seller is a person of ambiguous gender with a shaved head and gold monocle in one eye. They press the monocle closer to their face when they notice your approach. Oh, you're one to appreciate my wares, they say in an excitable alto. No need to tell me what you might be interested in. My mystical is enchanted to tell me. Let me see. They rummage in a chest beneath their table. They place a hand-sized black cylinder on the table. Lux Gradius, ancient weapon of light, slices through anything. You don't seem like you get into sword fights that often, but it's pretty entertaining to just swing around and listen to. A blade of white light springs from the hilt, and they wave it around. Vroom, 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 vroom. They then call it back into the hilt with a sound like rushing air. You look around nervously, but the people around you are thankfully too wrapped up in their own errands to notice this blatant use of a magical artifact. You take a moment to wonder at the degree to which people can fail to pay attention to their surroundings.
What a blatant reference to No More Heroes.
I think it. So if you get a Lux Gladius in Chapter 1, which you can, you get an achievement called "It's Not Stealing, It's an Homage." Right. The merchant leaves the Lux Gladius on the table and goes rummaging again. They then, plus you don't get to have the fucking last say on all blades of light. Like, those get to be whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. And of course they make a sound like vroom, vroom, vroom.
I mean, I don't know. Never seen one myself. They then place a gold ring on the table and continue to rummage out of sight beneath the table. Ring of Charisma! Good for making deals and sales. No rot! They pause for a moment, and then their hand surfaces to take the gold ring back. Oh, why didn't I think of this before? Do I seem more charming now? You can't see them since they're blocked by the table, but you do vaguely feel amused instead of annoyed that they took back the ring.
Sure.
You say. They then surface to place a crystal ball on the stand between you. This does pretty much what you'd expect. Seer Mary came by and offered me 200 for it, but I told her I thought I could get more. They dive back down beneath the table again. Ah, and the best for last, they say with a tiny copper disc. I have no idea what it does, but I'm sure it does something, and it's quite old. The seller said it was a Fate Shaper, which sounds quite powerful to me. The artifact is a copper disc consisting of 2 parts, an inner disc etched only with a small triangular arrow, and a rotating outer disc divided into 5 sections. The 5 sections each contain an etching colored with old enamel that is flaking in places. One section of the disc contains an etching of someone wearing a stole and mitre, colored with the white enamel ring, covered with white enamel ringed in a green patina. You mentally dub this the Hierophant. Another section of the disc contains an etching in black of the famous ancient wizard Logan, wearing a big floppy hat and surrounded by an ascending spiral of negation energy. You dub this... Huh?
Sorry, that's a Dark Souls.
Oh.
It's a very specific Dark Souls.
Oh, well.
Yeah, the like, of the 3 people you can learn magic, there's a character called Big Hat Logan who is kind of apocryphal, but because time is all wiggly wobbly, you can actually rescue him and learn magic from him.
You can rescue him from being apocryphal.
Pretty much, yeah.
That sounds like one of those games, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
The third section of the disc contains an etching in orange of a motley jester juggling a wrench, a hammer, and an umbrella. You dub this the Handy Fool. The fourth section of the disc contains a monkey riding a tortoise, which in turn is riding a dragon! Rawr, 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 rawr. All in green. The Dragon Rider Monkey. Get fucked, Tuttle.
Yeah.
The last section of the disc contains a woman's figure in red bearing a crystal ball in white. This reminds you of Seer Mary, and so the Seer. The arrow is not currently set to any particular archetype. The artifact seller straightens and opens their arms. Well, any interest? Your options are interesting, but limited by your funds.
I'd buy the Fate Shaper, but I can't.
Yeah, get fucked.
I don't think the others are things we need. We don't know how to use a sword. We're not interested in charming people.
No rot!
That's true.
Huh?
I'm curious if they're interested in buying anything.
Would
you be interested in buying anything?
You ask. The artifact seller shakes their head. Sorry, no. Spent all my cash on my current stock. Can't stay in business if you just keep buying things without selling. So, get fucked, Pucko.
I am tempted by the golden ring.
Isn't it so tempting?
Oh boy, when you make those noises, it makes me less tempted.
Wayo, wayo. Wayo, wayo. Wayo, wayo.
Let's buy the golden ring.
Let's buy 5 golden rings.
5 golden things.
You purchase the charisma ring from the seller, who slips it off their hand to give it to you. Lost 500 gold. Gain charisma. The moment they do, you realize you could be bargaining harder for these items, and when you slip it on your finger, you suddenly have the confidence to do so. Buy prices down, sell prices up.
Hey,
You want to purchase anything else from the seller?
nope.
I'm not rereading all of them. They've all gone down. Except the
Hooray.
turkey leg. The turkey leg stays at 5. They are a fucking hard bargainer. Look, you see everyone around here eating these turkey legs? That's 5 gold each. You think I'm gonna make money if I'm not making 5 gold each on every single one of these people? You think you're better than them?
I know what my turkeys are worth. If you don't, you can go somewhere else.
Why don't you go visit the fruit seller? I hear she's getting something stolen from her again.
Improve my negation magic with a potion.
Okay.
Let's kind of think about that one already. So,
I'm going to say something that I often forget myself when I'm playing this game, and it's just a stupid thing that I forget and feel dumb about afterwards. If you look at the things that you can sell, you might actually want to sell them, thus making it possible for you to get something more expensive. But if you buy something before you do that, you don't get the money back. So,
I'm not sure what you're saying.
I'm saying that if we sell something first, we could potentially have enough money to, if you have enough shit in that is sellable, you might be able to buy the fate thing.
Oh, okay.
But we don't know that because we haven't looked at the sell thing at all.
Sell something.
So it's called gathering information.
Yeah, I was pretty sure I knew what we had, and I don't want to sell those. Those are all
Very
good.
well. Another thing that you can do is use all of the buy all of the things that require an alchemy set, and then sell the alchemy set. That's it. It's useful for other things, so it's still a risk, but it's an option, is what I'm saying. Like, there are a lot of options here that don't seem apparent until after you fuck yourself out of them. Which is why I wanted to be sure we went over them all.
Well, then let's browse some hats.
Browse some hats. You again, the milliner says. Biting back a tart observation, she says instead, feeling a little less poor now?
That big floppy hat, though.
That big floppy
It's
hat.
not really my style, but maybe it could be.
We are a mysterious man with brightly colored feathers in his hair, wearing dark robes that seem to harbor latent malevolence. We are currently not wearing a hat.
We need to cover up these brightly colored feathers.
They're really messing up my style. But I'll do this by getting a jaunty feathered hat. Wait, no!
Damn it, how did this happen? Oops, there.
Would you like a big floppy hat?
Yeah, I think so.
You purchase a giant floppy black hat. Lost 350 gold. This thing is big enough to hide not just your face, but also most of your upper body. Gain subtlety.
Huh.
And here I thought you weren't going to buy anything, the hat seller says, pleased. Well, sad to say, you can't have the rest, even if you wanted them. I need to start getting them on the heads of more famous people. If word starts to spread, I'll be able to take my business to the capital. Well, I'd also have to convince my husband, but I suppose that's none of your concern. You hastily say goodbye to the now chatty milliner before she tells you her whole life story.
Negation potion.
Negation
Or
potion.
ingredients, but you know.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
Gotta make it even more powerful. I need to negate God.
There. Following a recipe from one of your old books, you purchase some chilies, a piece of dark chocolate, some nightmare blood, and a good deal of pepper. The ingredients are exotic and a bit expensive, but thankfully a herd of nightmares attacked the town last month, so at least the blood is relatively inexpensive. Lost 300 gold. You go home to immediately try the recipe using the alchemy set to distill the blood and reduce the chocolate and chilies to a powder. Then mixing everything with water. The resulting potion burns on the way down, but you feel an immediate strong connection with the dark sun within the earth. Gain negation.
The blade for Tal seems nice. I don't super care about the history book. I care a little bit, but not enough. Like, I need to know about them if I'm going to destroy the church, but maybe that's not really my goal. And then there is the fund for the copper tree.
What do you even know about Abraxas?
Very good. I don't know. I think it's between keeping the rest of the money is definitely an option also, because we're down to relatively not that much. But the history book or a blade to apologize to Tal. I don't know. I do also like the idea we came here to actually get food because we don't have any. And then we're like, oh, potion. We immediately go back and fucking make it and drink it down. I'm like, oh, right, I'm actually hungry. That doesn't really fill me up.
Wow, I'm really bad at, like, everything, I guess. Who's the idiot controlling me? Perhaps this, too, is part of my curse. You're controlled by an idiot.
Buy the book.
By the book?
Yeah. I need to know. What if it's relevant?
Lost 250 gold. You purchased an extremely old book that uses a very scholarly dialect of the ancient tongue, titled Via Verita Abraxas, or True Life of Abraxas. You suspect that the trader thought it was merely another copy of the Book of Abraxas, but in an ancient tongue. Not so. The Book of Abraxas treats Abraxas as divine, but this book starts very differently. Abraxas is the most powerful wizard who ever lived, and we would do well to understand his life. It starts probably with glamour magic. Philauta omenes cleos venenum. Simple words, but Abraxas understood they could be used with different effect on different people. Those who are used to following orders will fall under the glamour spell more readily. Gain glamour. Also, that's an important little tidbit there, because that actually does matter, even if it doesn't say gained something on it. Those who follow orders are more susceptible. Those who don't are more likely to have it fail, which might explain why Tal was less impacted by your glamour.
And why we weren't as impacted.
By our glamour. Wait.
Well, I meant the Hierophants.
Well, I mean, a Hierophant is probably way stronger than you, so...
Yeah, but we managed to get away anyway because I'm a lone wolf.
Yeah,
I don't
that.
follow anybody. I can't even trust myself.
Except for maybe Blessed Sam. He seems okay, and I like his dragon.
I like his dragon.
If I didn't have a dad and I wanted a dad, I might pick him as my dad. But I have a dad.
And I don't want a dad.
Using your expansive knowledge of ancient history, you find you can decode the following additional passage from the True Life of Abraxas. Abraxas traveled north by northeast from Akraton to the Magisterian capital of Phaedra. He came to speak with them of peace, but the Magisterians had a curious means of controlling the spread of magic. Only the rich were allowed to use it. Their society had very little use for the truly poor. It was then that Abraxas conceived of the idea of trying to convince the Magisterians there was a higher power who would judge them for their sins. This idea was a failure, but could be thought of as a success if we view it as a valuable test run. Learn the ancient Magisterian capital's location. Unfortunately, that is the current limit of what you can translate, but as you learn more about the ancients and their tongue, you might be able to translate more.
Copper tree. Give a little.
You pay a visit to the blonde woman who was soliciting donations for restoration of the copper tree, but her sign has changed. It's now a fund to renovate the town's guard post instead.
Oh. What happened to saving the copper tree?
You ask. There just wasn't that much enthusiasm for it, she explains ruefully. Nobody knows what it does, after all. At least this project has the support of the town guard. Now we're just 100 gold away.
And what happened to my donation?
The woman looks sheepish. Oh, we tried contacting you, but you weren't in town. People weren't sure where you were. Would you like your money back?
Brutal.
Ask for my money back, say I'm not interested, let them keep my money, donate another gold coin.
Yeah. Give
me my 1 coin back!
Give me my 1 coin! I don't fund the guards. AGAB. Yeah, no, I guess as for be a total dip. As for 1 coin back. Yeah.
Very well. The woman gives back the coin that you donated. But you get dirty looks from the others in the market who see that you've asked the charity to pay you back. Increased vilification. You quietly leave before you can attract any more attention. Increased calculation. What else will you buy or sell at the market? Dipshit.
Fruit salad, Fran. It's good they see me this way. I am a monster.
You don't want to eat a big turkey leg or see the
That's true. Oh, wait, the fortune teller. I guess we could eat a turkey leg. I'm pretty indifferent to the turkey leg, but I wouldn't mind it. What the heck?
You see a fair number of people roaming the market with big old turkey legs and steins full of beer. I'm not sure about drinking this early in the day, but those turkey legs look fun. You purchase one. Why not? Increase humor.
And yet...
I love this turkey leg. It's the only thing that can make me laugh.
And then yeah, the fortune teller.
When you enter the tent with its gaudy bead curtains and occult knickknacks on prominent display, Seer Marie looks up from a completed Callow card reading. Ah, you must be the person the cards told me to expect. How can I help you? I ask for my fortune told. I ask if we could go on a date. Ask if Marie wants to learn magic and become my apprentice. Tell the seer it's good she's doing well, and then leave.
Huh. Free is really interesting. I kind of want my fortune told and then ask if she wants to be my apprentice, but I don't know if that's possible.
I don't either. It's a valid theory, or whatever.
Sure.
Which
Let's
one?
see how well she does.
Oh. It's 25 gold. It's 25 gold, she informs you. The sum doesn't seem very significant, so you pay it. Lost 25 gold. Seer Marie deals out 4 Callow cards, one across the other, and 2 more in a line from them. She then points to a card depicting an hourglass, which is sitting underneath a card depicting a hand clutching the lip of a grave. The card is labeled Last Round. This card represents the questioner, Seer Mary says. It means there is little time left before a grand accounting of some kind. Whatever you've been working toward, you will soon be judged worthy. Or not. Her finger passes to the card on top, depicting the hand clutching the lip of a grave, as if a zombie might rise from it. But the immediate influence on you is Take All Discards, which symbolizes the return of many things from your past. Echoes of your previous decisions are coming back to greet you. You would do well to remember your previous actions as you choose new ones. She points to the card immediately next to those two cards. It's the Prince of Crowns card, showing a small boy seated on a gold throne wearing a slightly oversized crown. You will meet someone who is enthralled to another power. But if that power were to disappear, the prince would be the most powerful. Crowns can symbolize not just royalty, but also outward power, combined with inward fragility. She finally points to the last card, the Wild. The jester is on it. On it is juggling a dark sun, a gear, a crown, a tiny bonsai tree, and an eyeball. At last, we have the wild, says Seer Marie. In the final position, this means you can be more or less whatever you want to be in the end. You will have a choice of power, ingenuity, fame, knowledge, or simply letting life take you where it will. If you prize something above all else, you will get it. But remember to ask yourself whether the price is worth it. You thank Seer Marie for her reading, though you still aren't certain to what degree she's relying on your own imagination to tell you your future. The cards look suspiciously like they belong to an ancient game instead of having any real power. Ask if we can go on a date, ask if she wants to learn magic and become my apprentice, tell the Seer it's good she's doing well and leave.
Apprentice.
Marie, I need somebody to inherit my dark arts in case I fail.
And
You seem
honestly,
like just the woman.
yeah, everyone who knows me better, I can't risk them. And also, I think they mostly hate me. And there's one person who likes me, but they definitely wouldn't be my apprentice.
Also, like, you know, there was like this kid that probably would have been a perfect apprentice, but I just pissed him off and he left.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
he was
kind of a
rich,
dipshit.
so I think he was kind of a dipshit, though.
But like, so
I-
it would have
I was good.
so it would have been a perfect match. Seer Marie's eyes widen. Of course I would. Yes.
I'd like to pass on what I know to someone.
You say.
It would be good to have an apprentice.
Seer Marie suddenly looks glum, but I'm sure I don't have anything to pay you with. You seem to know ancient
Oh,
history.
right, sorry.
You seem to know ancient history as it relates to divination. Could you teach me that? How about a date?
I would never use my power over someone in order to get them to date me. They'd have to accept me for who I am.
I would only use it to extract information from them.
Yes.
Of course, Seer Marie says, and she begins to babble about history of the cards she uses for divination. Apparently she knows that Callow cards were originally for a 5-suited card game, where the suits were based on the 5 schools of magic, and the other cards sounded like cards that could belong to any silly card game. But, serendipitously, the cards also seem to be willing receptacles of magic because of the power of their symbols. The rules of the game were refined, cards are added or removed until they were so inherently resonant with divination that any deck with the same symbols could weakly tell the future. I find this fascinating. It's just the possibility of a whole branch of magical item creation where the items don't need to draw power on the power of storms at all. You thank Seer Marie profusely for the story, and you look forward to learning more. Gain divination, gain automation, gain ancient history. You tell Marie you're looking forward to teaching her more, and you bid her adieu. Now, do you want to get some fucking fruit?
Yeah, let's get some fucking fruit.
The old crone fruit seller Fran smiles pleasantly when she sees you. Her stock of apples and bananas look a little sad, which you think they may have been left out in the rain during the recent thunderstorm. Welcome to my humble stall, Witch Vex. Did you come to buy fruit? Or were you just looking to chat with old Fran? You heard that Fran is often willing to sell her gossip to anyone with enough coin. You suppose you could make use of that. Do you offer to sell Fran information for 20 gold? Purchase 2 gold's worth of fruit and leave. Ask to buy Fran's rumors about local politics. Offer Fran 50 gold in exchange for rumors about the church. Offer Fran 50 gold in exchange for rumors about the neighbors.
I mean, I'll sell her info.
Do you tell, I'm listening, Fran says with interest. I'll give you 20 gold if it's good. What you got? Mind you, I'm not interested in who's a shapeshifter. I know all that. Tell Fran the Saints are actually wizards, or I don't have any secrets I'm willing to sell.
Wizards, tell her. Yes. I have good reason to think the saints are all actually wizards who have taken up a new life in service of the church.
You say, and explain how you could know that from the... And you explain how you know from your time in the cathedral. Oh, that is juicy, Fran says. Here you go. She gives you your gold. Gain 20 gold, decrease church relationship.
Guess that's all I have to sell to her. I don't know. It would be really funny if you ask her about the church. She's like, well, I've heard that all the saints are actually wizards.
Yeah. Now give me my money, you asshole, dipshit.
Damn it.
Everybody in town is taken to calling you dipshit, and I'm starting to understand why. That one was for free, by the way.
It's not a secret. Everyone knows.
Dipshit.
Dipshit. Let's just learn about local politics. It's probably just going to tell me something about my childhood friend, but probably important to know something.
When you show Fran your 50 gold, she scoops it up eagerly. What would you like to know, dearie?
What do you know about the political situation here in Ackerton?
You ask Fran. Fran shrugs. Cause is a popular mayor doing good work, but I'll let you in on a little secret, she leans in. Cause is a shapeshifter, she winks at you. You're genuinely surprised, and Fran sees this. His personal guard, too. All shapeshifters. I think maybe he's waiting for the right moment to reveal it to the town. People here are pragmatic. They appreciate that useful people come in all kinds. But he's right to be scared. One wrong move and the church could carry him away. We thank Fran for this tidbit of information.
Oh, I can offer less gold because it's all I have?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I wonder, does she give me worse info, or...
It's almost like the game's trying to fucking tell you something. I don't know.
That I should do this? What?
I don't know.
Well, you can't just say the game's trying to tell you something.
I apparently can.
I mean, I guess I don't know anything about the neighbors.
Knock knock.
Knock knock.
Your upstairs neighbors?
Yeah.
Fran looks at your meager offer skeptically, but accepts it regardless. Lost 34 gold.
What can you tell me about the neighbors?
What makes you think I know something about the neighbors? Fran says, suddenly suspicious.
You know about all kinds of things.
Say, genuinely surprised at her reaction. Fran hesitates. There's something new in the wind, Fran says. The neighbors are no longer content to sit on the other side of the negative sea. They're building the means to cross it. And when they do, there's no way this backward place is going to win. Because they don't suppress magic. They embrace it.
How in the world do you know all that?
You ask, but you suspect you know. Judging from Fran's reaction to your question. You think fruit seller Fran is a spy. I know many things, dearie, fruit seller Fran croons. Don't you worry about it. When the time comes, you'll know which side you ought to be on. How do you react to this news? You don't really have enough evidence to convict Fran for treason, but you could write a letter to the Royal Spy Master about her, or tell Mayor Koss about her. Royal Spy Master Dahl wouldn't know who you are, but imagine he would listen to your tip if he was any good. Contact the Royal Spy Master about the invitation and warn Mayor Koss that Fran is a spy. Contact the Spy Master about information, but don't tell Mayor Koss about Fran. Tell Mayor Koss about Fran, but don't contact the Spy Master. Ask Fran, how can I get in touch with the neighbors myself?
Ooh, 4, I think. If they know magic, I I need to learn from them. Maybe I can convince them to fight back against the darkness. But also, it sounds like maybe they're going to spread the darkness, so I don't know. Darkness.
You do know they hate the poor.
I know that?
Yeah, the neighbors are the Magisterians.
Oh. That's lame.
Yeah, the neighbors are just sort of like the catch-all term that the people of this side use to refer to them over there. Because they haven't seen them for hundreds of years. Who the fuck knows what they are now?
Wonder how she's contacting them then. I mean, I don't want to tip off anybody that Fran is a spy, I think.
Why not?
I don't know. She sells me fruit.
Well then.
That's not my fight.
Ah, thanks for nothing, dipshit. Bye.
Well, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. Not loyal to anybody. But maybe I would tell people something.
How's Koss feel about us, actually? Fine.
Yeah.
Koss is fine. We have managed to not fuck things up with Koss.
Maybe I do one.
You do what? You resolve to warn the Royal Spymaster and Mayor Koss later. The kingdom should know about it, that it's in danger, and treasonous friends should not be allowed to continue to spy on Akraton. Increase solemnity. Do you tell a trivial secret in exchange for fruit and then leave? Or do you not have any more secrets you're willing to sell?
All I have is secrets. So
Let me buy fruit.
Also, what I don't have is fruit. I'm out of money, but would you be interested in a small secret in exchange for some food?
What you got? You think over the secrets. The location of the Magic Academy? Is Talus a shapeshifter? All your secrets feel more valuable than what Fran would be willing to pay. Finally, you say...
The Saints and Hierophant use glamour magic. I think they're dying of rot.
Fruit seller Fran says, looking unsurprised. Alright, I suppose that's worth some fruit. Gather some fruit from Fran's stall and call it even. But as you're walking away, you become convinced that Fran already knew the secret about the Hierophant and the Saints. I wonder what else she knows. You have nothing.
Nothing.
I think my business at the market is done.
Correct.
You
I
decided you're
sell
done.
my hat back for no reason.
You decided you're done shopping for now. Along the way, you stop by Koss's office, where he's working on mounds of backlogged paperwork behind the old converted bar. When you tell him about Fran, he sighs. I've always known there was something a bit strange about her, he says. Now that you tell me this, I really have no choice but to put her in prison.
Do you need help with that?
You ask. Koss shakes his head. I think she really is just an old woman, albeit one with many secrets. But, thank you, but I'll take it from here. Increase Koss's relationship. When you return home, you pen a letter to the Queen's Spymaster, warning of the neighbor's pending invasion. You keep things short and to the point and send it off, hoping the Spymaster and the Queen will listen to a wizard like you. Mayor Koss continues to run town smoothly. In some ways, it's exactly the same town you left. Meanwhile, you proceed with your instruction of Seer Marie. Meeting with the fortune teller in the fortune teller's tent in the late evening, when the bustle of the market has died down. While Marie learns about the 5 schools of magic, you learn more about the ancients' relationship with cartomancy and divination. Though you never have quite the same leap of insight that you did when Marie first explained the power of her cards, you find your conversation interesting nonetheless. Gain divination, gain ancient history. With your new knowledge of ancient history, you find you can now decode the following passage from True Life of Abraxas. Another goal that Abraxas never succeeded in is achieving what was joining all minds into one. This far-fetched dream would have only been possible if he had captured the great oracle from the Magisterians. But this divination conduit stood firmly in the middle of the Magisterian palace. It is thought that desire for the oracle is one reason Abraxas did not end the war sooner. Gain divination. As for Marie, she remains the most interested in formal divination, but she also takes a liking to vivimancy. The drawbacks of the other magics seem too great for her, but vivimancy intrigues her with its unpredictability. She suggests that the cards have indicated some kind of benefit if she learns it further, while the others all lead to some kind of ruin. For her, anyway. So she learns to heal wounds and cure sicknesses, and quietly offers these services under the table to her usual customers. You hear through the grapevine that Tal's house was burned down, probably as a result of arson perpetrated by the anti-shapeshifter group known as the Twilight Band. The fact that she didn't ask you for help at all suggests that your friendship is in rather dire straits. You wonder whether she would admit even now that she was a shapeshifter. You continue to wonder whether the Hierophant will send another party after you to reclaim you, but this never happens. Perhaps she doesn't wish to risk more catastrophic losses. One fall day, when the weather has begun to turn cold, you receive a knock on your door from a messenger dressed in the Queen's livery. A gold crown above a gold lion, rampant on navy blue. Her Majesty has received your letter and offers you a special position as her counsel, he says. Increased Thekla relationship. You may have your choice of titles and a stipend of 10,000 gold a year.
And I can freely perform magic?
You inquire hesitantly. Just so, the messenger says, frowning as if he's unsure the wisdom of the stipulation. The choice is easy.
I accept.
You tell him. And I think that's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
I think it's a good place to stop. We went through 3 entire chapters, largely because these chapters were much shorter than when I first played them, because we missed a lot of opportunities.
Specifically, I mean, that last chapter was the length as the others. It was, what, 3? 4?
Mm-hmm.
3 was stupidly. 3 was like...
Yeah, no,
pages.
because 3 is only that short if you get thrown in jail like a dipshit. And there is only one way to get thrown in jail like a dipshit.
Oh?
The way you did!
Yeah.
And actually, this last chapter would have been even longer.
Huh.
There were at least 4 times that you ended up dodging out of the way of content.
Nice. That's me.
Yeah, that is you.
I'm looking the other way when the ghost girl appears.
I really should just ask somebody who isn't you to be here.
Well, yeah. I tried to get Maid, but no.
Maid left. Aw. We were alone. Aw. Well, okay, then since we're alone, we don't actually have to draw this out. Goodbye!
Bye!